Now, let's study two very important sounds, R and L. First, I want to talk about how to make each sound. The R sound is made with the tongue. The tongue becomes a little bit tense. For many people, the front of the tongue comes up. For some people, the sides of the tongue come up. But overall, the tongue gets a little tense, and this creates some constriction where the tongue meets the throat. And that's where the R sound, the English R, really comes from. The sound R. So, we often teach this as a growling sound when we teach it to kids, like the growl of a dog or cat. R. So it is okay, you should feel some tension in the throat. Now L is exactly the opposite. The tongue is quite relaxed, and it simply presses that ridge behind the upper teeth lightly. La, la. For Americans, it presses in about the same place as T, D, and N. You can say ta, da, na, la. Okay, so those are the two sounds. Now let's study a few sound rules that go along with these. And some of them, in some ways, R and L are the same, and in some ways they're different. In one way, they are the same. This is that Americans tend to put a little sound between a consonant and R, or a consonant and L. Let's practice with these words. Progress, gridlock, cluster, blacklist. For my private students, using that little sound often helps with articulating R or L too. Another rule that goes with R and L is that we tend to pronounce the endings quite simply. So with R, we have the common endings OR, ER, and AR. With L, we have the endings LE, EL, and AL. In each category, the sound is the same. Let's practice a few words. Error, buffer, dollar. So even though the spellings are different, the final sound is the same. Now L. Hustle, level, final. So again, different spellings, but the same sound at the end. Another thing that we do is we sometimes put a little extra sound in front of a final R or L when there's a longer vowel preceding it. Just listen to these words. Career, sales. We can say the sales department sells furniture. So you notice sales is a lot longer than sell or sells. So those are a few basics. Good thing to know is that Americans pronounce all R's, so no matter where R is in the word. But we do have a few silent L's. So try these words. Percent, merger, silent L's, would, talk. Okay, so that's an overview of R and L sounds. I want to do one more thing before we finish. And I want to talk about the words pearl, girl, and world. These words are hard for so many people, so let me teach you a little tip on how to say them. When we have R and L next to each other, here's another place where Americans naturally need a little extra sound. So, the words pearl, girl, and world will sound almost like two syllables. Pearl, girl, world. Okay? So if you let yourself put a little extra sound between R and L, and even let the word be a little longer, almost like it's two syllables, though really technically they are each one syllable. Let that word be long, and then you can articulate both R and L. Let's try it one more time. Pearl, girl, world. Okay, that completes this lesson on R and L sounds.